Guess what?
What, JJ?
We did the math, and we have been doing carnivore for more than 1,000 days.
1,018.
So let's take a little walk down memory lane and see what's changed between then and now.
Yep. 2 years, 10 months, plus some days.
Yep.
And a lot has changed.
A lot has changed. Now, I know a lot of people are interested in what does a carnivore eat and what should I eat? I'm at this point in my carnivore lifestyle. What should I eat? So let's start there and talk about what we used to eat early carnivore days versus what we eat now.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I started with beef, bacon, butter, and eggs.
Okay.
So that's what I ate.
Well, I was a little more lenient when I came to carnivore. So I was eating chicken and pork. And again, those are carnivore. But I ate chicken and pork. Those were in rotation weekly. I don't know if you remember that, but yeah.
We would have pork tenderloin
Quite.
once I got deeper into it.
Yeah. After your triple B&E experiment. So yeah, we had those fairly regularly. I was generous with the spices.
Spices?
Spices. I was generous with the spices. You know, we used whatever seasoning we wanted to.
On my steaks, I used that spice that ended up having artificial sweetener in it.
For a while you did,
that made my gut clamp up. And it was this big mystery. Why is my gut clamping up on carnivore? It's supposed to do the opposite.
Yep.
It was because of something in that spice.
Yep, that was true. We also used a lot of sauces, sugar-free.
Yep.
We always kept things sugar-free early on. But we did a lot of, sorry, I have a hair right here. Okay. We also did a lot of sugar-free sauces. We would have barbecued meat quite a bit with the barbecue. What was that? Sweet Baby Ray's or something that was sugar-free. So that was quite a bit. And then, of course, for a long time, I had salads about every week or 2 weeks, depending on when I'd get to a certain restaurant with my friend.
Mm-hmm.
So salads were fairly regular. Yeah, I think that was a big part of it. Oh, and I know holidays, special events, travel. We didn't fall off the wagon, but those were times when we sort of fell into our traditional, not even fell, we chose to do the more traditional thing.
Yes.
So we tended to have our sort of normal holiday fare.
If you could have one foot on the wagon and the other one hopping alongside to keep pace, that's what I was doing.
Yeah. So holidays were our time to have the old favorites.
And it was about as effective.
It was. So now what does life, and let me state, I always cut myself off. Let me state that we didn't make really active changes. Like we weren't like, oh, we are cutting this out. We are cutting this out. This sort of just evolved.
Yes.
The meals we eat sort of have evolved. So what I eat now is predominantly beef and some chicken. I do have the Courtney Luna Cobb salad, which contains no vegetables, and that's a chicken breast. So I do have that.
It's got some dairy in it.
I've always eaten dairy. Yep, I've always eaten dairy. I have not given that up yet. But it's predominantly beef and some eggs and that little bit of chicken breast too.
Yeah, I eat primarily beef and eggs, and usually in the form of steak.
Yes.
I can eat hamburger patties. I don't like the flavor as well. Mm-hmm. But I have eaten a lot of hamburger patties. But I have more recently added some ferments with sauerkraut, kimchi, and fermented dairy that we ferment ourselves.
That is true. We have added some ferments. So I do have some sauerkraut and that fermented dairy as well.
And why did we do that? Well, for my part, I wanted to add those beneficial microbes to my diet to improve gut health. And theoretically, everything is downstream of the gut. And so I wanted to try that out and see if it improved my health generally. Mm-hmm. And so far, so good. I mean, I can't point to specifically what it did, but it hasn't harmed me at all.
Well, I can point to something it did, but I'm going to save that.
Okay.
I'm going to save that. So now also when we travel, carnivore.
Yeah, we were really good at carnivore now.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that we're able to do that is by using pemmican. We can make pemmican with ground beef that's dried and then mixed with tallow and formed into bars, and we've done that. Or we can use pre-made pemmican, the carnivore bar, which is a little pricey, but it's a great, great travel option if you think you might need a little snack.
Yes.
Or a meal replacement even.
Yes. And we've got holiday season coming up pretty soon, a couple months away. And what's your thoughts on the holiday right now?
Well, in the past, we've indulged in our favorite holiday foods. I don't know why I said it that way. But each season has been a little bit less and a little bit shorter duration. And this coming season, I don't think that it's going to be even as close to the indulgence as we did last year.
Yeah.
Because for me, when I have those foods, say Thanksgiving, the turkey's fine, the stuffing, the potatoes, any desserts, that will cause me GI distress.
Yeah.
And it doesn't taste good enough to make it have been worth it.
I think that's it. As time goes on, things just aren't worth it anymore. So it's not like it's a struggle.
And part of, for like Thanksgiving, is the leftovers. You get to eat Thanksgiving dinner over and over and over again, and it gets better as it ages in the refrigerator. And that's a non-starter. There's no way I'm going to have a cheat meal many, 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 many days in a row. So having it just that one meal and then stopping and then feeling gross, it just doesn't feel like the deliciousness meets the level it needs to deal with the consequences.
Yeah. And last year, I pretty much tried to have no leftovers. I tried to really do that. So we didn't have many leftovers last.
You also made a brisket, right? In addition to
a rib roast.
A rib roast, in addition to the traditional holiday foods. So that was a nice little option to have.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't see us straying a whole lot, if at all. And our definition of holiday has changed either in a sense, because before it used to be, Memorial Day is a holiday and 4th of July is a holiday, and all of those had their own food traditions. And now we aren't doing them for those lesser food holidays, really. 4th of July, we didn't do anything food related. So, So it's just been interesting to see the evolution. And so I encourage you, wherever you are in your carnivore journey, just be satisfied being there right now. You might choose to tighten up at some point, or it might just evolve naturally, but there is no right or wrong.
Yeah.
Not when you're in it for the long haul.
I would say that the holidays were the hardest part because I do associate them with food so strongly, but it's not as hard.
No, it's not. It's just not. So let's next dive into our changes we've noticed, like physically.
Okay. Well, at my peak, I was 206 pounds. I am 6 foot tall exactly. And I am now down to 171, so 35-pound loss. And I've been down at 170 for, I don't know, a half a year or more now.
Yeah.
I had a plateau at around 180, and I got rid of artificial sweeteners and dairy. I have since added back dairy, but it's very high-fat dairy, and it's in a very limited quantities. And that broke me through that plateau, such as it was.
Yeah.
And maintaining my body weight within a pound or two requires no thinking, no effort at all.
Yeah. I lost 30 pounds as well. I'm up a little bit, probably about 5 pounds, because I've not been fasting as much recently. So I did gain 5 pounds. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a 25 total pound lost. I'm good because I feel great physically. I just have so much more mental clarity than I did originally. My hormones have become more regulated. So I have more energy, less brain fog.
Yeah.
Less brain fog. My allergies have cleared up. My sensitive eyes have cleared up, which were a daily issue, major issue. I used to have my skin was more blotchy. I had some rosacea issues, sensitive skin patches of rash I would get down here. That's all cleared up. And I have an old an old ankle injury. You've got to learn to speak my language. I've always done that. I have an old ankle injury that used to give me, I was in chronic pain and had flare-ups all the time. And it's pretty rare that it bothers me at all now. I thought I would have to have surgery on it, but I don't see that in the future anymore. I think it's pretty dang good.
I had IBS, acid reflux, and both of those resolved very quickly on carnivore and have stayed gone as long as I stay carnivore.
Yeah.
And the longer term improvements that were aside from weight loss, I was on an SSRI prescribed specifically for a form of anxiety, which had helped dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
And I got, a year or so in, and I was like, I think I can wean off of this, which I did. And I credit carnivore for one, letting me wean off of my SSRI with fairly low side effects. And once I was off of feeling kind of like I did when I was on the SSRI.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big win for me because I didn't want to have to take a medicine like that for the rest of my life because I know it's acting on the brain, it's acting on the brain chemistry. And the more it's doing that, it just seems like the longer or harder it is to wean off of it. So that was a big deal for me.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of us are on any meds.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm age 54, going on 55 in a couple of months. Pretty proud of that. My other wins are really more about losing inflammation. And I used to get a regular breakout on my arm when I would get stressed.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of herpes virus in my body, maybe from when I had shingles as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Those breakouts are so rare, and it almost used to be a perpetual thing sometimes where it would just be one on top of the other. Sometimes it would go some months, but now it's so rare.
Mm-hmm.
And if it does happen, it's minute.
Yeah, it is.
And those would really set me back. I would be tired. I would be fatigued. And so having that gone has been beautiful.
Yeah, that is a big benefit.
I had chronic low back problems.
Oh my gosh.
My low back does get stiff and sore if I'm bending over doing work a lot, but it's nothing like it was. And I credit that to just the anti-inflammatory effect of the diet. And I'm sure there's other things, but they're escaping me at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have anything you're working on now?
Well, I'm always working on managing mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And my aim with that is to make sure that I'm in ketosis at least part of the day every day. You may think carnivore is necessarily a ketogenic diet, and I used to think the same thing, but it's actually quite possible to be eating carnivore and not be in much ketosis. But we cite Dr. Georgia Eads' book, Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind, on almost every episode. It's always in our show notes because it's been so impactful. And the point of it is that when you are in a ketogenic state, it's just way better for the brain, anti-inflammatory, and the brain tends to work better. Mm-hmm. So one of my aims is to make sure that I'm getting into ketosis at least overnight. And that has required in recent weeks a modification to the diet because slapped on a CGM and found that my blood sugar was kind of high.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out that the simple answer was the right answer, and that I was just eating more protein than I needed and not enough fat. But the way that we sort of got to that and addressed it was a little unique. But now part of the experience of being carnivore for over 1,000 days is there's been a lot of life lived in that amount of time and a lot of experimentation with more or less fat. And I've been able to tune it and see the effects on my metabolism and my blood sugar is predictable.
Yeah.
And that has been really fun.
Yeah. It's been amazing. I'd say my goal coming into carnivore was weight loss. That's why I was trying to get my insulin lowered and be able to lose some weight. And mental health is the goal now. And I don't see that goal changing unless there's some horrible traumatic thing that happens in the future. So mental health has always been, since I started experiencing the clarity and mental health on carnivore, that's been my primary goal. So I, with you, have been on this journey to make sure that I am in ketosis. And I used to pull the lever through fasting only. And I was doing fasts of up to about 42 to 45 hours long to get in a really nice deep ketosis and feel the mental health benefits of that. And now, just by tweaking our eating a little bit, I also was overeating protein, tweaking our macros a little bit. And again, we're not doing massive tracking or anything, but just lowering the protein and adding the fat. I'm seeing that nice ketosis again every single day, and it's wonderful.
So where we've landed, very quickly, we realized that we were both eating a time-restricted eating pattern. Mm-hmm. Where we were eating in a 6 to 8 hour window and the rest of the day was fasted. But one of the innovations was moving the fast to the back half of the day. So finishing eating by early evening rather than skipping breakfast, having a lunch and a dinner. And one of the reasons this was so powerful is that when I was done eating by 5 o'clock, my sleep was an hour better. Mm-hmm. So that was beautiful. Huge. And in order to align our eating windows for convenience, JJ also moved to eating in the first part of the day.
Yes. I used to fast until about 12:30.
So the more recent recognition that I was eating too much protein is that I was typically having a breakfast, steak and eggs, maybe a little lunch of some sardines, and then a dinner of steak, not eggs. Sometimes I'd have eggs, but not usually. And the steaks that I prefer are New York strips, so they don't tend to be as fatty as it is. And the local butchers don't think you want any fat, so they cut it all off.
Yes.
And I was just like, my body will sort it out. And I seem to be doing fine on it. But what I realized was the abundance of protein in that low fat was setting me up for my liver to really favor gluconeogenesis, making glucose rather than making ketones. So the real change was that dinner is super high fat and very low protein.
Yes.
And that restricts what amino acids are available to the liver to make glucose, and therefore it makes ketones. And it has brought my blood sugar set point down significantly over the course of a week or two.
Yeah.
And then my overnight blood sugars are beautifully low, down, dipping close to maybe 60. And then I wake up with lower blood sugar and higher ketones in the morning. And that's just where I want to be. I want that dip into ketosis overnight, and then I come up in the morning. And that doesn't mean that I'm not in ketosis for most of the day, because I am, but it's just not as strongly ketogenic. Yeah. And that has been a marked improvement in those numbers. And that gives me a great deal of satisfaction that I'm eating a more appropriately structured diet.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I want to be clear. One, we were both like triple digit average blood sugars before doing this. And so making that change, we are not low protein. We are still getting adequate protein, but again, really stacking it at the front of the day and going higher fat near the end has made a huge difference for the both of us. And for me, I've noticed it also helps for me instead of sitting down and having a 12-ounce steak, I still do on occasion for breakfast, but if I break those into smaller meals and have 6 ounces and then 6 ounces and then end with the high fat meal, that tends to do well for me. So it's been dramatically different as far as my blood sugar and my ketones. And we'll see how that translates, because I know you have in the past had a lot of triglycerides.
Yeah, even as a long-term carnivore, my triglycerides have stayed frustratingly elevated. And when I say
Crazy.
elevated, last January, after I did a program of high fat, they were over 300. But the difference was I added fat to my usual protein intake rather than reducing protein and making up the difference with fat. And that was my mistake because I was having a hard time getting that food down. I was eating so much. And now just dropping the protein and making up the difference with fat, it's been easy to maintain it. And I am eager to see whether the triglycerides improve.
We suspect they will. We will see. Yeah. So that's really been what we've done over the last 1,018, you said? 1,018 days?
Yep.
Yeah. So things have shifted fairly naturally. Nothing has been a huge struggle. And we've reaped amazing benefits and continue to reap great benefits and expect to reap even more benefits.
We really do. And we've been sharing that journey here on this channel, which we hope you subscribe to. And we have been delighted to get the feedback from many of you who have had greater weight loss than we've had, significantly more difficult chronic conditions resolve than we have had. And some of you have done it far longer than we have had.
Yes.
Than we have. And it's been just one of our delights to be able to hear from you about the success you've been having on carnivore. But if you are carnivore curious and you're watching this because you were kind of trying to decide whether to take the plunge, rest assured that 1,000 days from now, your life could be completely different.
Yeah.
And actually, JJ, in 90 days, it could be significantly
How many?
improved. Just 90, because my IBS was 95% resolved within 90 days.
Yeah.
My acid reflux was resolved within a week.
Yeah.
So give it a shot. You don't have to commit to doing 2 years and 10 months. Just do it for 90 days. Consider it an elimination diet, a protocol. And at the end of the 90 days, you can choose to continue or try to add back a couple of things and see what happens.
Yeah. Don't think you have to do everything perfectly all at once. Make the commitment and see where it takes you. My allergies resolved right away, which was a huge life improvement as well. Right away, within the first week.
So now, after all this time, we're just kind of used to being healthy.
Yes.
It doesn't mean we don't think back on how we used to feel and look, but it's just part of our lives. We've incorporated being healthy, and that gives us an expectation of future health.
Yeah.
And as we get older, we want to stay independent and strong and vibrant.
So with that,
every day stronger,
every day more blessed.